Hey guys, this is Ryan Black with Retail Systems, and today we're going to be doing a demo for Liquor POS, back of the house, and checkout. So right now we have the Liquor POS software up, and to go to the checkout screen, you're going to touch this cart with your mouse or your finger, and it's going to go ahead and bring up the Liquor POS ordering system. So from right here, this is where you would go ahead and scan your items. So what you can do is you can take your scanner and scan an item, and what it'll do is it'll ring up just like we did with that test item. For any reason, if the scanner isn't working properly, or you have an item that doesn't have a SKU on it to scan, you can always go to the items button right here, and it'll bring up all the items that you sell. All these columns are sortable, but you can go ahead and choose the item, put in your quantity, and it'll add it to the check here. So if you were going to go ahead and pay out a check in the system, it's going to go ahead and calculate your order with all your items, show your total right here. You're going to go ahead and hit the Finish Sale button, and then it'll bring you to the payment screen, and this is where you can tender it out to cash or credit card. If they were doing a credit card, your chip card machine would light up at this point, so the customer could insert the card into the system and handle the transaction. But for demo purposes, we'll go ahead and handle it with cash. Okay, and we'll go ahead and tender out that transaction. At this point, it'll go ahead and print up a receipt if you like. It'll show the change due on the system as well. And then whenever you're ready to ring the next order, you can go ahead and hit the OK button, and it'll bring you right back to the checkout page where you can ring up the next customer. So we'll talk about some of the other buttons on the screen as well. You have the exit button. What the exit button is for is to exit the checkout screen, so you could go into the back office, possibly for purchasing, receiving, looking in your inventory, customers, etc. We'll go back to the checkout page. Okay. The next button is the items. That's where you can view all your items that you're selling in the system. So you could go ahead and choose any item that you wanted. You could choose multiple items if it's a wholesale order, and then click it through the system so they all add here. If you wanted to void the check, if it was a mistake, you could go ahead and void that sale. If you wanted to delete one item line off of the system, you could by choosing whatever line you want, hitting the delete button. It'll confirm what line you want to delete and hit the OK button, and it'll remove it. If you wanted to edit one of the items that you have on this checkout screen, you could as well. So I'll go ahead and hit the edit button. And you can edit the quantity, the price if you have the privileges to, the tax status if you have the privileges to, or the extended price. Okay. Other things that you have here is you have discounts as well, and you can do discounts on one item, on multiple items, and you can do a discount percentage. Okay. Next is your customer module. What this is if you do wholesaling to other businesses around the area, you can attach their customer file to it, and it can track all their information, previous purchases, etc. Okay. Other things we have here is if you wanted to change it to case deals, certain items have case discounts that you can do as well. And then by hitting this button that says More, it brings another huge group of options that you can do if you wanted, like reprinting a customer's check, doing a coupon, accessing the time clock to clock in and out, doing a price check, doing lottery through the system, tax exempt, even opening the cash drawer. So all these options are embedded in this More icon. So your checkout screen is standardly very simple and clean, but you have additional options that you can edit as well. So we'll go ahead and cash out this transaction again. So we're going to hit the Finish Sale button. We'll go ahead and tender it out to cash, and it'll go ahead and close that check and be ready for the next sale. So briefly, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and exit out of here, okay, and go through some of the other parts of the system. So first thing we want to let you know is this does have a built-in help guide so that you can, access any and all help and information. Everything is categorized in here very simply and easily so that you can go through. If you're someone who's interested in self-learning a product, you can do that very easily in this product. Other things you have in here is you have your reporting module. So on your reports, you have closeout reports, you have inventory reports, you have your purchases, you have your sales reports. You can go there and you can touch a sales report. You can look at your totals. You can look at it screen or printed out on printer, and it'll show sales. It'll show lottery. It'll show invoices, your promo, cost of sales to profit, all that information, and this can automatically refresh for you if you want it to as well. So that is, once again, under your reports, and going through, you can also print product labels, shelf labels, and you have a label designer as well. Okay, going into another part of the back office, you have your purchasing. And in your purchasing, this is where you're going to access all your vendors in the system. Okay, when you choose your vendor, you can then add your items to it that you're going to be ordering from that vendor. Okay, and then you can also look at details of those items, cost and pricing, sales history, purchasing history. Okay, once again, that's the purchase order tab. And then in your purchase orders, this is where all your purchase orders will be. You can void them, you can add freight, you can look at different vendors, you can look at history, all those things, and it'll show everything right here. The next tab is your receiving. So after you enter your purchase orders in and they come into your business, this is where you're going to do your receiving, where you're going to choose what vendor it is. Okay, it'll show all the receiving reports of all the purchases that you have in the system, and you can edit all that information there. Okay. The next tab that you have is you have your product list. And in your product list, this is where you can look at all your items. You can look at your detail. You can look at your naming, the price, the quantity, how many you have on hand, how many you have on order, what's your reorder point, what's your quantity on shelf, what's your shelf space. All that information is here. In your cost and pricing, you're going to see your markup compared to your unit cost, your case cost, so you can see what your margins are right there. You can drill down to sales history and see the volume. See the volume per month of selling that item, and you can see your purchase history as well. And with your sales history, you have tabs with weekly, so you can see weekly sales, you can see what customers it's selling to, or you can look at the monthly graph. Other things that you have in here is you have your customer module, and this is where you can track your wholesale customers or businesses that you're selling to, where you can see, you know, who they are. You can edit the information about them. You can look at their taxes and pricing. So this is where you can set, based upon what category they are, what discount percentage you're giving them for the wholesale pricing. And then you can look at all your sales history as well. Okay. Other things that you have in here is you have your vendors. And then in your vendors, you can look at all your details of them. You can look at your purchase history, all that information. You can even email them directly in the system as well. Okay. Other things that you have in here is this gets into the privileges part of it, where you can go in and customize the security settings for all the different settings for each person in here, down to what they can access, what they can't access, etc. Okay, adding customers, delivery, product pages, purchase history, etc. And then here you have more customization tools, and this is where you can customize internal lottery. You can do security settings. You can edit your rules for purchasing, receiving, taxes, set up your hardware, look at your accounts receivable to see credit limits, wholesale products for who owes you money, etc. Here is your product labels. So this is where you can build your product labels. You can print them out, do all that through the system. And then last two, you have your calculator, has a built-in calculator. And then once again, we talked about the help guide where you can access all that information in here as well. So that's a quick demonstration of Liquor POS for anybody that wants to take a look at the product. Once again, our company's name is Retail Systems Inc. at 1-800-849-5642. And if you have any questions, please reach out. Thank you so much.